Hey everyone. So my name is Mariya. Welcome to our GitHub workshop. We are thrilled to have you here as dive into the powerful world of version control system in collaboration to that are essential of modern software development.
Hello everyone, I'm Violina. Today our goal is to equip you with the knowledge and practical skills to effectively use Git and GitHub in your projects. But before we start, let's introduce ourselves.
My name is Mariya. I'm originally born and raised in Bulgaria. I love camping. I love exploring the world. I love animals, as you see. I just want to move it here on this side. You can see that I love all the animals, hiking. And here on our slides today, you're able to see this is a traditional Bulgarian Martinitsa. It's celebrating on March 1st, and it's symbolizing the health and the happiness.
Hello everyone again. I'm from Bulgaria as well, and fun fact about me is that I own a very social bird named Coco. She loves to perch on my desk or monitor while I work, and she even helps with debugging. A few years ago, I started practicing Pilates, and it has been a game changer for me. I also have a variety of creative hobbies that help me disconnect from work, with my recent one being embroidery. Whenever possible, I love to travel, hike, and explore the beautiful mountains of Bulgaria.
Agenda. This is agenda for the day. First, we will explore the basic of Git and how to transform the account management. Then we will learn what is Git, why it's essential to version control, and what its key concepts like repository, commit, and the working directory. Then we will learn what is Git.
We will go over how to install Git, setting up your environment, and creating a repository. We will also show you how to create, manage, and merge branches to keep your code organized and support parallel development. Next, we will explore GitHub for hosting repositories, creating pull requests, and collaborating with your team.
You will also learn best practice for effective collaboration, including code reviews, conflict management, and maintaining a clean commit history. We will dive into advanced Git features like rebasing, cherry picking, and stashing to manage complex workflow.
We'll also give you some tips for writing good commit messages, structuring repositories, and maintaining a clean history. And we'll have a hands-on practice with a little surprise at the end. So let's get started.
Overview of version control system. Before we dive into the specific of Git and GitHub, let's take a step back and discuss the concept of version control system. A version control system is a tool that helps developers manage changes to the source code over time and keeps track of every modification made to the code in a special kind of database. If a mistake is made, developers can turn back to the clock and compare earlier version of the code to help fix the mistake while minimizing the disturbing in the entire chain.
Now let's see what are the key benefits of using a version control system. First is history and documentation. Every change is logged, providing a detailed history of the code base. This makes it easy to understand what was changed, when, and by whom. Collaboration. Multiple developers can work on the same project simultaneously without overwriting each other's work. Changes can be merged together efficiently.
Backup and recovery. The version control system serves as a backup system. If files are lost or corrupted, you can recover previous version from the repository. Branching and experimentation. Developers can create branches to work in new feature of the bug fix and isolating from the main code base. This allows the experimentation without affecting the stable version of the project. Git, the version control system we'll be focusing on today. It's distributed version control system that is widely used, performing flexible and robust feature set. It allows developer to have full copy of the entire repository history, making it possible to work offline and integrate changes to the more seamless way.
By the end of this session, you'll not only understand why version control systems like Git are indispensable, but also how to leverage them to improve your productivity and code quality. Now let's
What is Git? I'm sorry, Violina, you can go.
Now let's see what is Git and why I use it. Git is a distributed version control system, as Mariya already said, and it is designed to handle everything from small to very large projects with speed and efficiency. It was created by Linus Torvalds in 2005 and to manage the development of the Linux kernel. Since then, it has become the most widely used version control system in the world, powering countless software projects across various industries.
Key features of Git: distributed development. Git allows every developer to have a complete copy of the project repository, including its full history. This decentralized model enables developers to work offline and collaborate seamlessly, even in the geographical distributed teams. Branching and merging. Git makes it easy to create branches for a new feature of bug fixes without disturbing the main code base. Once changes are complete, branches can be merged back into the main branch, facilitating parallel development and experimentation.
Fast performance. Git is optimized for speed and efficiency, enabling lightning-fast operations even on large code bases. This makes it ideal for projects of all sizes, from personal projects to enterprise-scale applications. And data integrity. Git uses cryptographic hashing to ensure the integrity of your data. Every change made to the repository is checksummed, and the history of changes is cryptographically secured, providing assurance that your code base is tamper-proof.
Git terminology. Before we dive into using Git, let's familiarize ourselves with some essential technologies. Please do post in the chat what is your most familiarizing, how you know Git, how you've been introduced it. Repository is known as a repo, a repository, a collection of files and a folder associated with the project, along with the entire history of changes made in those files. Commit. Commit is a snapshot of changes made in a repository at a specific point in time. Each commit has a unique identifier, and it's accompanied by a commit message describing the changes. This is very important. We are having open source coming up, so initializing your name when you commit is very important for the team.
Thank you, Mariya. Branch. A branch is a separate line of development within a repository. It allows the developers to work on features or fixes independently of the main code base, making it easier to manage changes and cooperate with others. Merge. Merging is the process of combining changes from one branch to another. It is typically used to integrate features or bug fixes back into the main code base. And clone. Cloning is the process of creating a local copy of a remote repository. This enables developers to work on the project locally and contribute changes back to the remote repository.
How to install Git? To get started with Git, you will need to install Git in your computer. Git is available on a major operating system, including Windows, Mac, and Linux. You can download the latest version of Git from the official website. Once Git is installed, you will have access to a powerful set of command line tools that you can manage your code repository and collaborate with others.
The first step in using Git is to initialize a new repository. A repository or repo is where Git stores the files and the history of changes made to those files. To create a new repository, navigate to the root directory of your project in the command line and run the following command: git init. The git clone command is used to create a copy of an existing repository. This is particularly useful when you want to contribute to a project or when you want to work on a project hosted on a remote server such as GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket. Now let's see how git clone works. Git create a working directory with the latest files from the default branch, usually main or master.
Configuring Git. Git config command is used to configure Git settings and options. Their configuration can be applied over different levels. Global, the flag include that setting should apply globally for the current user. User.name, this is the configuration key for the username. In Git.email, this is configured for your email. The information is stored in a commit history and useful for tracking who made the changes, especially in collaborating projects. If you want to set all those changes configuration for a specific repository, you can omit by -- global flag.
Now let's see what is the life cycle of the changes. So remember that each file in your working directory can be in one of two states, tracked or untracked. Tracked files are those files that were in the last snapshot. They can be unmodified, modified, or staged. Untracked files are everything else, any files in your working directory that were not in your last snapshot and are not in your staging area. When you first clone a repository, all of your files will be tracked and unmodified because you just checked them out and haven't edited anything. As you edit files, Git sees them as modified because you've changed them since your last commit. You stage these modified files and then commit all your stage changes and the cycle repeats. The main tool you use to determine which files are in which state is the git status command. If you run this command directly after a clone, you should see something like nothing to commit, working directory clean. This means you have a clean working directory, and in other words, there are no tracked and modified files. Git also doesn't see any untracked files, or they would be listed here. Let's say you add a new file or several files which didn't existed before, and you run git status. You see all your untracked files, and to begin tracking specific file, you can run the command git add and the file name, or if you want to track all of the files, you can run git add dot.
Now that you have staging area set up the way you want it, and you can commit your changes. Remember that anything that is still unstaged and any files you have created or modified that you haven't run git add on since you edit them won't go into this commit. They will stay as modified files on your disk. In this case, let's say that last time you git status, that's how you're gonna see where you're standing with your commit. You saw that everything was staged, so you are ready to commit your changes. The simplest way to commit is to git commit, and you can type your commit message. I highly recommend for everybody who are beginners and even not beginners, please do add descriptive git message. Git walk, after you have created several commits or you have cloned a repository in the existing commit history, you will probably want to walk back, see what is happening actually. The most basic and powerful git command is git walk. So please do also use git walk often.
Now let's see what branches help in. First, isolating work. Branches keep different lines of work separate. Parallel development. Multiple developers can work on different features simultaneously. And code review and testing. Changes can be reviewed and tested before integrating into the main branch. To create a new branch, use the git branch command and followed by the name of the new branch. For example, in our case, git branch new feature. This command creates a new branch called new feature, but does not switch to it. To switch to the new branch, use the git checkout command. Alternatively, you can create and switch to a new branch in a single command, git checkout -b, followed by the name of the branch. To see a list of all branches and the current active branch, use git branch, and the active branch will be highlighted with an asterisk.
And then we'll talk about git merge. Once you complete your work on your branch and test it, and you make sure that you want to make this commit merge to the master. First, switch to the branch you want to merge, git checkout master or main, then use git merge command, and most likely due to master and main are going to be different from your code base, you're going to face a conflict. So in this case, you're going to have to solve them first before you make the merge. Best practice.
What we can suggest as best practice is to use descriptive branch names. Choose branch names that clearly describe the purpose of the branch. For example, if you're adding a new feature, you can use feature / add login, or if you're fixing a bug, you can name your branch bug fix / and the things which you will be fixing. Also, keep branches short-lived. Merge branches back into the main branch as soon as the work is complete and tested to minimize conflicts and keep the main branch stable.
Regularly sync with the main branch. Periodically merge changes from the main branch into your future branch to stay up to date with the latest code and reduce merge conflicts. By effectively using branches in Git, can you organize your work better, collaborate more efficiently, and maintain a clean, more manageable code base? Next, we will explore how to collaborate with others using GitHub and manage repository.
But now let's see some advanced Git features, and the first is Git Stash. Stashing is a way to save your local changes without committing them, allowing you to switch branches or pull updates without losing your work. This command saves your local modifications and reverts the working directory to match the head commit.
Git rebase, it's not my favorite commit, but somehow I have it. Rebase is one of the Git utilized designed to integrate changes from our branch into another. Rebasing is the process of combining moving a sequence of commits on top of the new base commit. Git rebase is linear process of merging. It's useful for streamline in the future branch before merging into the main branch.
Git stack. Tags are used to mark specific points in the repository's history as important. They are often used to mark release point. And the next command is git cherry pick. Cherry picking allows you to apply the changes introduced by an existing commit onto your current branch.
Bisecting the find bugs. Git bisect. To me personally, this is a first time hearing for this command while we was Violina and I working on a presentation. Please do share in the chat, are you ever use this command? So Git bisect is binary search to find commit that introduce a bug by automatically testing for the presence of the bug in the history. Excuse me. Git will narrow down the commit into finds that introduces bug.
And the good commit that is known to be before the bug was introduced. Git will narrow down the commits until it finds the one that introduced the bug. Git hooks. Git hooks are scripts that run automatically in response to specific events in the Git lifecycle. They can be used for automating tasks, enforcing policies, and integrating tools. Hooks are stored in the Git hooks directory, and you can create custom scripts for any hook you need.
I think with GitHub. So basically, we're going to have a hands-on. I'm going to reshare the screen again. So what I'm going to share to do with you is going to be basically using the GitHub desktop. We do have also Anna Jesus today. She's going to share with us the, please do confirm with me that you are not seeing the correct, so yes, you don't. Okay. Are you able to see my GitHub desktop?
Yes.
Yeah. So GitHub desktop, I do not recommend it for the beginners. For every beginner, they should use the command line. But GitHub desktop is very useful tool if you're on a fast flow work, if you have a lot of projects. It's just useful. So currently, we are having practice official I created not long ago for you to see the practice repo. So it's a basic. We do having a, I'm currently on the main branch. You can see that I'm having only 3 commits. And this is basically the VS Code. I can create a simple image folder. Images, I can drag and drop. Okay, so. And I also can add a small change. Maybe we can add another paragraph. So, yes, okay. So now adding those changes, adding the paragraphs, I'm not going to use any terminal, right? In this case, I'm going to go to directly to the GitHub app and I'm going to see, okay, so we can see that the changes appear. We're having 2 files. Again, you are able to see on which branch you are. You're currently on main. This is not a good practice, I'm saying. You can create a new branch from here and you can have your own branch. But because the repository is my personal and I'm going to work directly, I'm not going to add any branches as now. So we're going to add a simple change, and we're going to add a commit. And here you can add copy updates, and you can commit to the main. So basically it's going to say push commit to the origin remote. You can push the origin. This is, again, I'm repeating, not using at all the terminal. So when we go back to the GitHub, and we're going to see that we just have a change, make it right now, and the commits are appearing here. So we're having currently 3 commits, and you are able to go into view commit details. This is a good practice to constantly having more often commits, at least once or twice a week. If you're still looking for a job, and recruiters will be able to go over your repository, they're going to look to your commits. Going back, now I'm going to share what is also very important, and Violina is going to walk us through. It's having a README file.
Thank you, Mariya. In simple words, we can describe the README file as a guide that gives users a detailed description of a project you have worked on. It can also be described as a documentation with guidelines on how to use a project. Usually, it will have instructions on how to install and run the project. And it is essential for you as a developer to know how to document your project by writing README, because first, it is the first file a person will see when they encounter your project, so it should be fairly brief but detailed. It will make your project stand out from a bunch of others. Also, be sure your project is good too. It will help you focus on what your project needs to deliver and how. While working on a project, keep in mind that you will need other developers to understand your code and what it does. So accompanying it with an extra guide will be really helpful. So what you can include in your README first is the project's title. It describes the whole project in one sentence and helps people understand what the main goal and aim of the project is. The second is the project description. Your description is an extremely important aspect of your project. A well-crafted description allows you to show off your work to developers as well as potential employers. The next thing is optional table of content. If your README is very long, you might want to add a table of content to make it easy for users to navigate to different sections easily. It will make it easier for readers to move around and protect with ease. How to install and run the project is also useful. You can provide a step-by-step description of how to get the development environment set and running. How to use the project. You can provide instructions and examples so users, contributors can use the project. If your project will require authentication like passwords or usernames, this is a good section to include your credentials. And you can also include credits. This is just a way to show your appreciation and also to help others get a first-hand copy of the project. You can also add a license. For most README file, this is usually considered the last part. So it lets other developers know what they can and cannot do with your project. And additional README sections can be badges. They are not necessary, but using them is a simple way of letting other developers know that you know what you're doing and how to contribute to the project. This mostly will be useful if you're developing an open source project that you will need other developers to contribute to. And I think that now we can switch to the hands-on part with Anna Jesus.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Violina. Anna Jesus today is going to share with us how to actually work in open source projects. Due to we are having open source coming pretty soon, she's going to show you the correct way of creating a branch, working with a iconic repository. Thank you, Anna Jesus. Please share the screen whenever you're ready.
Hi. I cannot share my video, but I think I can share the screen. Yes. Sorry, can you see my screen?
Yes,
We do.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna. I'm a career changer and I'm a newbie into coding. So this is also new to me. So I hope I can help you, but also I can learn together with all of you because we all can learn something together. Okay, so I will walk you through how is the workflow of working with other people when you have a project and you all have to collaborate in the same project. So first I will open my terminal. I will start from the very beginning. I hope you can see my terminal. Yes, I hope so.
yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm in this path and I want to create this. I will git clone a repo, so I want to put that folder in the desktop. So I put cd, change directory, and then I will put desktop. And then I'm in the desktop, so I will put git clone, and then this is the repo that I'm going to clone. So I click in HTTPS, copy, and it looks like this. And then you end. Oh. Okay. Technical issues. Why? Okay. I already have one, but it's okay.
Yeah, you already have. You can just, yeah, you can share with us the changes.
So basically, this is the process for cloning a repository.
So yeah, I deleted and now it's creating. Sorry. So yeah, so it just you put git clone and then the link from the GitHub and then it clones. And now you go inside of this folder that is test demo. So change directory to this folder. Now you're in it. And then to open your code editor, you put code space dots and it should open Visual Studio Code. And I hope you are seeing my Visual Studio Code. Maybe it's too slow, but it should come. So yeah, now you're in the folder. So it is a copy in your local system of the of this repository that exists in the GitHub. So here we can, before anything, is to create a branch. So you can see here the path, and it here this in blue says main. It means that you're in the main branch, and now you have to switch to the to your new branch because you cannot. Well, if you are in a group and you're all working in the same project, it's always good that you should work in different branches and then merge when whatever you're doing working on is finished. So I will then create a branch. So it's git branch. And then let's call it, I don't know, new feature. So it will hopefully create a new branch. Sorry that my laptop is very slow and makes a lot of noise. So now you create it, but now you have to switch to that branch. So we do git checkout, git checkout, and then the name of the branch that is new feature. And you can see that it tells you it switched to the branch new feature. And now you will see also up here that it says new feature. So now you can work on this branch, and this branch is yours, and it's you can now change whatever you want. So maybe for this case, I can create, Yeah, no, I can't touch. So this will create a file, and in this one we don't have a CSS, so I can just call it style CSS. And if you look at this part, it creates a file called style CSS. And also, so you know, there's nothing here, so also you can actually put something in the HTML, and I can also open it live server so you can see. So there's nothing, so you can maybe add some H1 inside hello, and then it appears, and you can also link. I'm just doing some examples so you see that something is happening. And here we can put maybe some style, and I thought about putting something nice. And you can see that now has nice colors. And this is what you did in your branch. So now what you can do is make sure that you're always saving. So I'm always doing Control S in everything that I'm doing. And now you're happy with what you did. So you want to send it to the main branch, or you wanted to send it for revision, or to share it with other people in your group. So for that, we can say first is like, actually you can see here in this part that index, it's a M is for modified, and style is untracked, but also you can just say git status, and it will tell you that you are in this branch, the new feature, but there is nothing staged for commit. So, and there's untracked files. So what you can do is git add, and here you can just specifically put the file name, or you can just put a dot, space dot, and you will add everything. And always takes a long time. So if you do git status now, you will see that the changes are in the stage, but still they are not committed. So for that, you have to put git commit space M for message, and then inside you could say initial commit. It's not very descriptive, but I didn't do anything new. I'm sorry, it froze. I don't know.
No worries. Thank you so much for this hands-on. You did
It's really,
amazing energies.
It's really helpful. Yes, it's really helpful. And also, I love the details, how she is sharing, for example, walking us through that it's not staged yet. It's and how she is adding the commit. Usually, a lot of people using directly the tool. There is a tool in VS Code where you can just stage them directly. I'm sometimes cheating on it and just using directly, but she's using hands-on practice for sure.
Yeah, so shout out Joanna for doing this.
I'm still trying, but for some reason it's just breaking. But yeah, thank you. Sorry. Maybe now. If, maybe I can still continue. So I did the commit. So I committed it, and now if we do git status. So nothing to commit is a working tree clean. So you're ready to push. And always it gives you like some hints if you do something wrong. And in this case, it tells you that you should use this commit. And again, it's very slow. So sorry.
No, this is a live troubleshooting, right? So we are just initializing, we are doing git push upstream to do your branch, basically, because it's the first, no, this is a second commit. So first or second commit, yeah. So we're basically doing upstream to the new future branch because it's our commit. Anna, is that who is going to be your first open source project working on?
Yeah, it will be the first one.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Very exciting. I'm sure a lot of you who are joining today, they're going to be part of the open source. If you have questions, if you're not sure from where to start or you feel confused about Git, we're going to share the slides if you like. Also, we can have more communication in our Slack channel. Git is very, very intimidated. I started using Git maybe around 3.5 years ago. Even nowadays, sometimes when we have rebasing, I have to touch base with more experienced developer, which that's not a shame. It's better to check before commit because sometimes can make a repository break or break a pipeline. So yeah, keep asking and keep touch base with your coworkers in online. It's nothing wrong. We all learning in the process. So where we are still git push upstream origin new. This is a live. Yes. Okay. Wonderful.
Yes, sorry. So it did work. So now you can just, for creating a pull request, you click on the link. Yeah. So now you can see here in the GitHub, there's a title, you can say initial commit, you can put your description of the changes you did here. So I just add CSS style, and then you go here and say create pull request. And you can see if there is any conflict. Actually, in this case, it will say that you need to have someone to review your code and the merging is blocked. Yes. So this is all I wanted to share. Sorry that it took so long. Thank you.